Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit, rakeandprofit.com. Super pumped up to come to you guys with another live video. It's been a while, but I'm really excited to bring some information to you guys that can help you out. Because when it comes to, changing your life and building an income stream, one of the best ways that I've found over the last 4 or 5 years to do this is by selling books on Amazon. And I know a lot of people who are following me on my YouTube channel are selling on eBay, and eBay's awesome. eBay's great. I was actually contemplating whether I should make a video about eBay or Amazon, but I've been really busy with books lately. Been spending a lot of time sourcing. And of course, if you guys know my story, I spend a lot of time with my mother, who I helped to start her own personal book business. I believe she's 63 or so, which goes to prove it doesn't matter if you're younger or older or mid-aged, anybody could do this. But I spent a lot of time with her in her business and going out sourcing and stuff. And we actually just got back from a little sourcing trip. And to be 100% honest, we didn't find anything, which happens at times. But yeah, I want to answer a lot of beginner questions for people who are maybe transitioning from eBay to Amazon, or maybe somebody who just stumbles upon one of my YouTube videos and is like, Steve, how do I get started? What are some of the basic things like scanning apps? What the heck is a scanning app? What's a sales rank? How much does it cost to ship books? What's FBA? What's merchant? Should I start with a free account or a paid account? I've got a bunch of questions. I'm going to be talking about online arbitrage, best places to source books when you're getting started. Can you buy and sell damaged books? What if it has water damage? What if it's missing a CD? How do I analyze a book, right? What the heck is a Keepa chart? How do I price a book for the first time? Should I sell as an FBA seller or as a merchant? How much does it cost to ship to the Amazon warehouses? So I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions. I've got a little list here, so it's going to be a very well thought out, organized show for you guys. So I'm going to be kind of smashing these questions and answers for you. And then I'll be tuning into the comments. If you guys see me looking to my left, it's because I have another screen. You might be able to see it right over here. I have another screen, so I'll be able to answer your guys' questions and whatnot. So great to see you guys. Really excited to be here. I'm going to shout out some people. We got Adam's Exploits in the house, waving. What's going on, Adam? Good to see you. We got Andre Vaughn saying, hey, Steve. Scott Burns saying, hey, Steve, glad to see you back with your videos. Yeah, it's awesome to be back for sure. Illinois Picker just opened an account to begin selling on Amazon. Been selling on eBay for 20 years. That's awesome. It's really beneficial to sell on Amazon because when you're out there, especially if you're just an eBay seller, sometimes it's really dry. The same as an Amazon seller. Sometimes it's dry. You don't find anything. So by having another platform to distribute merchandise, not only are you going to be able to sell more, but you're going to be able to find more items, because some items just aren't going to sell on Amazon. Certain items are only going to sell on eBay. So that's why I like to kind of dabble in both platforms. So great to see you here, Illinois Picker. Secret Scratcher. Hey, Steve, I watched the old videos when you and your mom would go sourcing. Yeah, probably have some more videos coming out soon with Mama Profits. Paul Austin, Steve, looking good. Appreciate that, Paul. Thank you. Thank you. What's going on, Mike? Manny A, looking sharp. Glad you're back. Question I have, can you sell books as an individual, or do you need to be a small business? So let's just get right into it, guys. Not too much conversation. I was just reading a comment from one of my older book videos, and I was kind of getting some questions for you guys ready. And some guys like 7-minute introduction talking about how you're doing golf. Way to waste my time. So I don't want to waste anybody's time. I know your time is precious. So do you need to be a business? Do you have to be incorporated? Do you need it to be, do you need to incorporate as an LLC or an S Corp? So on and so forth. To answer that, no, you don't need to, right? It's not like Amazon is going to require you to show your EIN number. Now, if you do want to protect yourself against being sued, for example, let's just say a customer receives a box with one of your books in it, and maybe they walk out their door, they don't see the box, and they trip over it, and then they crack their neck, unfortunately. You could be named on the lawsuit. So by not being incorporated, essentially there's no cushion, there's no protection between you and your assets. So in that sense, you might want to incorporate, right? So you're going to definitely want to talk to an accountant or a lawyer about that. I'm neither one of them, but that's going to answer your question right there. You don't need to, but there's obviously benefits to it. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions first, and then I'll go into my script. Let's see. Shannon says, I'd like to get started streamlining the whole process as quick as I can. The cool thing about selling books on Amazon, especially if you sell through the FBA program, which is fulfillment by Amazon, there's two ways you can go about selling on Amazon when it comes to books or anything in general. You could sell via merchant, which means you're essentially like an eBay seller. You buy an item, you store an item, you ship the item, customer service, all that stuff. Or you could sell through the FBA program, which means you're going to source the product, but instead of you holding on to that inventory, dealing with customer service and all that good stuff, you ship it out to the Amazon warehouses, and then they do the rest for you. Now, the fees are going to be a little bit higher, but you're going to be able to streamline the process much better, which is what Shannon was talking about. Plus, you could typically get more money for an item and make more profit and save more time. And I think a lot of us, we're not in the business of reselling to necessarily get rich. A lot of us, we just want to make some extra income and have more time and more freedom. So I find it well worth it to invest in the FBA program versus being a merchant. Hey, what's going on, Stephen Post? And I got your email, Stephen. It looks like you you finally got the Amazon gift card that I sent over. So I think you were the one who told me you were going to buy some Amazon, some book inventory using eFLIP, which I'm going to talk about later. I think that was you, but glad to see you here. Stephen says, I sold my first $100 book yesterday. You got me off the fence and helped me to get started. That's awesome, Stephen. There's people in here making it happen. Mike says, I have not sold on Amazon FBA yet, but I've acquired quite a bit of inventory, watched and liked a lot of your videos. I have made okay money buying and selling textbooks, now venturing into niche categories. Well, I can tell you right now, you kind of missed the boat right now because textbook season is starting to come to the end right now. It's still selling well, but if you take a look at the Keepa charts, check out Keepa. It's a Chrome extension. You can get an idea of when prices and sales velocities increase, which is when, the students are going to school and buying books. August, September is really popular. But FBA during textbook season, when kids are getting ready to go to school, and even the first couple of weeks of the semester, prices are inflated like crazy. Sales velocities are increased a ridiculous rate. And you get a lot of money. You can make a lot of money. I would try FBA. I think FBA is great. I think you'll make more money. You'll have more time. So I would definitely, for the people out there who are like, oh, I'm intimidated by the FBA process, because I've got to label the books. I've got to ship them out to Amazon. I've got to trust that Amazon's not going to damage them and destroy them, so on and so forth. I know it's new. My advice to you is just give it a shot. Even 5 books, right? Get yourself a little box and put 5 books together and learn the process, right? There's plenty of videos that are going to teach you step by step. This isn't going to be one of those videos where I go through step by step and scan the book and slap the label on. Why? Because there's already a million videos out there that can teach you how to do that. It's pretty easy. You could even just contact Amazon. You might even have them help you to walk you through. And I know they have some tutorials as well, but get 5 books together and ship it out. Learn the process. You're going to be amazed at how much faster books sell when you're shipping it out. When you're selling at FBA, right? When you have that Prime badge on it. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it sells hot. Manny says, thanks for answering my question. You got it, Manny. Tina says, hello, Steve. I love your positive and inspirational messages. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate you. Tomer Barrel saying, good info. Thank you so much, Mr. or Mrs. T. Illinois Picker, I love the fact that Amazon offers that cheaper shipping rate where eBay, USPS do not significant savings. Yeah, so one of the comments that I got on one of my previous videos was, Steve, I wish you would have gone more in depth about the pros and cons of shipping when you're using FBA, right? So again, like I said, when you're selling these books, guys, and we're going to talk about what scanner to use. We're going to talk about, do you need apps? Do you need a phone? Where to find books, online arbitrage? We're going to get into all of that. Okay. Crap. I just lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? I forgot what I was going to say. That's what I get for multitasking. But I know I said we were going to talk about a bunch of different things. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, let's move on to another question. Maybe somebody could pick up my thought. Let's look back. Okay, I was going to talk about shipping. So pros and cons of shipping FBA versus a merchant, right? Well, I'll throw that in. Shipping rates are really, really cheap because it is subsidized, right? The shipping rate is really, really inexpensive when you're shipping to FBA. Couple reasons. One, you're putting a bunch of books in one box. So for example, you might put 20 books in one box. It might weigh 40 pounds. You've got to keep it under 50 pounds. So 40 pounds, depending on where you're shipping it to, because you're shipping it to an Amazon FBA warehouse, a fulfillment center. So here, I live in Connecticut. I mostly ship out to New Jersey. So it's only a couple states away. For me to ship out 40 pounds, it might be $7 or $8. That is so cheap. That's 30, 40 cents a book or less, sometimes 50 cents. Now, there are times when, shipments get split and I've got to ship a couple books to California or out to the Midwest. It might be double that. So it might be 60 cents, right? Or 65 cents. But typically it's 20, 30, 40 cents to ship a book out. So shipping is very, very cheap through the FBA program because it is subsidized through UPS. Okay, so that's great. That's awesome right there, guys. You can get your book shipped out really cheap and you're not having to ship out 1,000,001 books at a time. You put them all in a box. Just make sure they're under 50 pounds. We use a 16 by 15 by 15 box. We can usually put 20, 25 books in there, depending on if we got a lot of small, soft paperbacks or hardcovers or textbooks. But you put it all in, you ship it off, you label all your books with an FN SKU, and it's cheap. Now, if you're shipping as a merchant, it's going to be, quite a bit more. You're going to be shipping out media or first class, right? So I love FBA. We got Wade's Venture in the house, guys. If you aren't subscribed to Wade Venture, I don't know what you are doing with your life. Wade, you're awesome, man. It was great making some videos with you. So Steven says, I bought a book at Goodwill for $1.99, which is an average price at Goodwill. He sold it for $129. It's crazy. That's one of the things I love about books, right? I'm not coming on here saying you're going to get rich selling books. You're not, right? Unless you have people out there sourcing for you and you've got a big, a warehouse, or maybe you're doing something like Greg Murphy, where you're buying gaylords of books and you're sourcing from recycling companies and you put all these deals together. But for the average guy and girl out there who's watching right now, you're going to be going to thrift stores, garage sales, church sales, library sales. You're not going to get rich, but could you make an extra $500 a month? Yes. $1,000 a month? Yes. $2,000 a month? Yes. But once you start getting over $2,000 a month, I'm talking profit. I'm not talking net sales. You're going to be hustling. You're going to be spending time. You're going to be grinding. But I think you guys don't have a problem with grinding and hustling. You just want your freedom and you want to go out there and make it happen. So you can definitely do that. You can also do this on a part-time basis as well. For example, a lot of times I'll go out and I might only spend 20 or 30 minutes going out with my mom, just having fun. Today we went to Whole Foods. A lot of times we'll go out and we'll find, an $80 book. Last week, for example, I went out to a garage sale. I went to 2 garage sales. Why? I wanted to sleep in. I was enjoying myself. Went to Dunkin' Donuts, got a nice coffee, a little espresso in it, just screwing around, having some fun. Stopped at 2 garage sales. I found, and then I just gave it to my mom because I'm a nice son. I like to give my mom gifts every now and then in the form of books. I'm a weirdo like that. But I stopped at this one garage sale and there were there was like 6 or 7 textbooks. I scanned them all. 2 of them were profitable. One of them, my mom, I gave it to her. Shout out to Mama Profit. She listed that up for $143, she told me today. And then the other one I think was going for like $30. But that's like $100 profit quick, like in a couple of minutes. They wanted $5 each for the book. I said, would you take $5 for both? Bada bing, bada boom. Got it. It's just an example. You don't have to be a full-time reseller to make money with books. Walk into a thrift store, right? Another thing, okay, and I'm going to start getting into some of the specifics of the apps and technology and stuff like that. A lot of people think you have to go into a thrift store and spend hours scanning all the books. No. Here's a big tip, guys. This is a really, really big tip, so I hope you're all listening. Go to the thrift stores frequently and get to know what books are new and what books are old. Why is that important? Because when you start to notice what's been there for a while, what's dead stock, what hasn't been moving, what textbooks look really attractive, but you already scanned them, they're not worth anything. The next time you go in, you don't have to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours scanning everything. You kind of already know what is new and what is old. Now, that's a good strategy for saving time. It's not necessarily the best strategy for making the most money because, as you know, the more you scan, the more money you're going to make. There's thousands of books. You're going to miss something. It's the same with going through clothing racks and selling on eBay, right? You've got to look through everything to maximize profits. But for someone like me who isn't relying necessarily on a book, selling book income alone, I've got other income streams as well. I like to just go in and pop and look for kind of low-hanging fruit in a sense. So if you know where the textbooks are hanging out, if you know what's new and old inventory, at least 70% of it, you could go in and you could just kind of snipe out books, snipe an $80 book here, snipe a $40 book out here, and walk in and out within 7 or 8 minutes. It's possible. So that's kind of my strategy. So my strategy is not necessarily like the best strategy for making the most money, but just know you can do that if you already, maybe you're a nurse, or I don't know, maybe you're a school teacher, or maybe you're just a full-time eBay seller and you're like, well, Steve, books is, it sounds great, but I don't want to be in there scanning, spending hours and hours. You don't have to. You could go in there and just snipe kind of like I do. Mama Profits, my mother, she spends a little more time because she's retired now and she's just out there having fun. But don't forget about the sniping method. Okay. Let me go through and smash some of these questions for you guys to help out a lot of the beginners. And again, I'm not forgetting about you guys in the comments. I will be in there as well, answering some questions. Real quick, guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, do me a favor and smash that like button down below. We got 110 people watching right now. So if we hit 100 likes, I'm going to give away something. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to give away, but something really cool that you guys are going to enjoy. So let's smash that like button, get 100 likes, and let's get into some questions. So I went through some of my videos, went through some of my Facebook comments, YouTube comments, some of the most common questions I received regarding books. I wrote them down, and I'm going to answer them. So do you need a scanner to start selling books on Amazon? Yes. You need, okay. Wrong. Do you need a scanner? Let me answer that specifically. No, you do not need a scanner. Like, for example, you don't need a handheld scanner, like a Bluetooth scanner. You don't need one of those, but you do need something that is going to allow you to scan books. So for example, I have the iPhone 7, I think 8. I think I have the 8. I don't know. I have an iPhone, and I scan my books using the Amazon Seller app and Scout IQ. So I use the phone, right? I also do have a Bluetooth scanner, and I'm going to talk about a couple Bluetooth scanners that are wireless that you can use and some of the benefits to them. But you need something to analyze books. You need some type of, you need a phone, and you need some type of scanning app that's going to allow you to analyze books to see what it's selling for, how many sellers there are, the sales rank, so on and so forth. And we'll talk about some of that specific data in a couple of minutes. But yes, you need something to scan. If you have a smartphone, download the Amazon Seller app. Why? Because that's free. It's 100% free. Scout IQ is another scanning app that's more advanced. It's going to give you more details. You're going to be able to make better buying decisions. There is a free, I believe I have a free link in my description. So if you go into the description right now, I'm just looking on my other screen. If you go into the description, there is I think it's the 4th link down, free 14-day Scout IQ scanning app for Amazon. You can try that out for 14 days, but just know that's going to turn into a reoccurring payment after 14 days. So if you're brand new, I wouldn't even mess with that. I would just download the Amazon Seller app first because it's free. It's not going to give you the most data, but it's going to give you enough. That's what I use 90% of the time if I'm just screwing around. Mama Profits, she uses that as well. If you're going with more high volume and you have a Bluetooth scanner, you're going to want to get Scout IQ for sure. So yes, you need something to analyze. You need a phone, smartphone. You need a scanning app. I would recommend the Amazon Seller app if you're new on a budget. And if you're looking to step up your game, make better buying decisions, especially if you're looking to invest into more long tail books and books that have factors such as seasonality, or if you're going after textbooks and stuff, you're definitely going to want that. What scanner do I recommend? So what is a scanner? Okay. In terms of what I'm talking about is a Bluetooth scanner. It's a handheld scanner. So it's this little tiny device that has a laser on it, and you hold it in your hand and you hold your phone in your other hand and you scan, and it uses a laser to read the barcode. It then takes that information and translates it onto your phone. So essentially the reason why people use Bluetooth scanners is it's a lot faster than using the camera on your phone to then scan the barcode, right? It's about 2 to 3 times faster. So when it comes to scanning books, the more books you scan, the more money you're typically going to make. It's a numbers game. And a lot of times you might have to scan 30 or 40 books to find a profitable book, depending on where you live and the prices that you have to pay for these books. So couple scanners I would recommend. The first one is a KDC scanner. I believe the 200 or 300 is what my good friend Reezy Resells recommends, and Caleb Roth, I think he might use the same one. I'm not sure. But that's a good beginner one. I've never used it before. The one that I have is the ScanFob Opticon 2006. So if you go on Amazon, you could check both of those out. The ScanFob is going to cost you quite a bit more money, but I hear the KDC is like 2 to 3 times less expensive, and I think it does just as well. So definitely look into those. Now let me jump into the comments real quick. Adam says, question, do the inexpensive Bluetooth scanners work well? The better ones are in excess of 125. I haven't used the cheap ones, but I know a lot of people use them and they say they're fine. So you just got to get them installed and connected, and it should work well. So I would just go with the cheaper one, to be honest. Hey, Rakin, listening to you as I'm out delivering sales. How do I know what books to get? So you're going to know what books to buy based on the data that you get from the scanning software that you're using. So, when it comes to maybe, for example, let me get a book here. This is a book. Sorry, I've been fighting a cold for like a week and a half. This is a book I'm actually reading right now. It's called The Biohacker's Guide to Upgrade Energy and Focus. Anyways, if you use the Amazon seller app, I'm just scanning the cover because it doesn't even have a barcode. When you scan a book, it's going to give you information such as the sales rank, which is an indicator of sales velocity. It's going to give you reviews, which is social proof. How many people are selling it new and used? What are the prices? And what is your profit margins based on, the different numbers that you plug in, cost of goods, shipping rate, all that stuff. So you're going to use the software that's on your phone that you're going to download, the Amazon Seller app or Scout IQ, to make a buying decision. And based on your business model, you're going to make that decision whether you want to buy it or not. Because some people might say, wow, it makes $3. I'm in all day long. And the next guy or gal might say, $3. Well, I don't want to be processing hundreds of books a week. I'm only looking to process 15 to 20 books a week. And my minimum profit margin has to be at least $10. So it's really going to depend upon your business model. Are you looking for quick flips? Or are you interested in investing in books that are long tail that might incur a long-term storage fee? That's up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. It just depends upon your time and what you're looking to shape or mold your business into. So that's how you're going to make buying decisions. Thriller Gorilla Picker, what's going on? See people scanning books for hours at estate sales. I say keep scanning while I get this good stuff. Hey, a lot of people, especially at estate sales and garage sales, don't go for books, I've noticed. It just depends on your knowledge base. I don't know a lot of stuff about like vintage jewelry and fishing items and pots and pans and antiques and all that stuff. So I'm going to go for the books because that's what I know. That's what I'm good at. So if you've got knowledge outside of books at an estate sale, there's probably a lot more money with the stuff that you're mentioning, Thriller Gorilla. But for someone like me, if you and I went in there, I'm going for the books all day long because I'm never going to be able to compete with you. I don't even know, I just don't know that type of stuff. What up, Denny? Says, hey, brother, can you advise if I have to adhere a suffocation warning label on the plastic wrap for new books before I send to Amazon? That's a really good question right there. I would probably just slap one on. I don't sell a lot of new books. For the most part, if I have a new book, I've got these little stickers. I just slap it on. Anytime I do put a poly bag on anything, I make sure the poly bag has a suffocation warning on it, which is the only poly bags I buy now. Or if it doesn't for some reason, maybe I'm using an older one from back in the day, I'll just, slap a sticker on it. But I don't know what the actual answer to that is, but why not just slap one on? It's not going to hurt anybody's feelings. Lava Temptress says, glad to finally catch you live. Good to see you. Darren Eckelman says, the money-making king, the master blaster of the reselling hour. Oh, Darren, I appreciate that. Discretion, nice name. Would you invest in a hardcover early 1900s book for FBA? It depends. If the information's looking good, the sales rank is decent, if there's enough money there, if the book's in good condition, if it is what I think it is, because a lot of times with these older books, it's kind of hard to identify, is this exactly what it looks like? If all those things came together, absolutely. Kamomo, hey, Rakin, newbie in the game. Some of those softwares wants you to be a pro seller. So that's actually something we should probably talk about right now. Should you be if you're just getting started selling books, should you go for the free plan or should you go for the paid plan? So I honestly, if I was brand new, just getting started and I didn't really know what I was doing, I would just go for the free plan. And once I got up to the point where I was selling about 40 books per month, I would then invest in the pro plan. I know there's quite a few benefits to being a pro, just outside of saving $1 every time you sell a book. But if I was brand new, I would just go with the free plan until I got serious enough to see it worth it to spend the $40 a month. Because some people might be thinking, Steve, $40 a month is nothing. And I personally agree. But if I was new and I only had $50 in my bank account or 100 or maybe not even that much, that $40 could do some damage, right? I would rather use that $40 towards investing in books that can make me 30, 40, $50 a pop. So that's the way I would go. Yeah, I know some apps you have to be a pro seller and there's different benefits and buy box and different things like that. Right. I believe you need to be a pro seller to get the buy box. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I heard that. Some of these things I'm kind of out of touch with because I've been a pro seller for so long now. But somebody help me out. Let's see. Lewis K, is textbook season over? Just sent in more over the weekend. Am I too late? I don't think you're too late. It is getting towards the end of textbook season right now. I know the kids are back in school, but they're just selling. We actually just sold a book for $88 today. It was a book that I had sourced off of eFLIP recently. And I'm not buying a ton of books right now, OA, using eFLIP. And if you guys are wondering what eFLIP is, it's actually a software. I've done a video on this that allows you to go in and snipe books from merchants off of Amazon and then flip it FBA. And we made quite a bit of money this textbook season using eFLIP. So if you guys don't know what that is, look up Rake and Profit eFLIP on YouTube, or you can just go into my description on this video. And I believe I have a free 21-day eFLIP trial that you can check out. So essentially it's just a software that allows you to analyze data. And you could search for books that have a certain rank, a certain profit margin in comparison to if you're going to sell at FBA or whatever you're going to do. It's a great software. Now, costs a bit more money to invest in these books. So a lot of times, for example, the book I sold today for $88, I paid $30 for. So I'm probably going to make $25 profit on it. So for some people, you might think, I'm not going to invest 30 to make 25. But for others like myself, you've got enough capital to where it's a really good return on your investment to go about that route. And we just can't find enough books around here. So definitely look up eFLIP for sure. John Mendoza says, hey, Steve, I got a free pallet of obsolete grade school books from a school district and made over $800 this month by sending them to FBA. John, boom, John, killing it. That's what I love. Darren, Steve, you got that 6-pack yet? Unfortunately, I don't. I used to weigh 240 pounds. So unfortunately, this might be too much information to share, but I've got quite a bit of loose skin. So the 6-pack's under there, but I think it's going to take a bit more time to kind of dial in on the diet and just tighten things up. But I'm making progress. Thriller Gorilla says, funny, Rick, and I bought an old Sony cassette Walkman for $1. When I got it home, plugged in the headphones and the tape, Tony Robbins was in it. Achieving your ultimate goal. That's funny. Sounds like personal power right there. That's great. My daughter doesn't start college until the 24th, so there's a little bit of time. Wow. Thank you, Rob. So for some reason, I thought Wow, we got Rob Anderson in the house right now. I thought school book season was coming to an end. Maybe it's not. So I guess, Rob, let us know in the comment section, because Rob's been selling books for longer than I have. Especially, like, I'll just be honest with you guys, doing eFLIP and all that. This was our first time like really going for it. So let us know, Rob, when are the sweet spots? I know it's August and September, but at what point in September do you really want to, like, when do the sales start to really dive off? And if you guys go into Keepa and you take a look at the chart, you'll be able to see that. So glad you brought that up. It's actually good to know. I'm going to have to send Mama Profit a message, because we were just talking about that earlier. Is Amazon individual seller still available? Every time I sign up, I only see pro. Yeah, it should be, unless it changed. Most colleges start in August. That's what I thought. So maybe there's some, though, that start in September. How come a lot of books don't even scan? So this is another great thing to talk about right now, guys. So when you're taking a look at a book and you want to scan a book, usually you're going to look for a barcode. This book doesn't have a barcode, probably because I bought it. It was like a private label type of thing. It's not even on Amazon, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe it is. But most of the time you're going to scan the barcode. Now, there's a couple issues with this. Sometimes you'll scan the barcode and the wrong book will come up. Why? Because whoever put it in initially when they created the listing, they put up the wrong book, or they did something wrong, essentially. So you always got to make sure the right book comes up. Other times you'll scan the barcode and a book won't even show up. Again, maybe somebody put in the book the wrong way. They put in the wrong ISBN number. I don't know why, but sometimes it happens. So you always got to make sure the right book comes up when you scan it. Make sure it's the right cover. What do you do if you scan it and nothing comes up? Well, there's a couple of options, guys. This is what I'm going to do. Number one, if you're using the Amazon seller app, what you can do is you can actually hit a button. It's in the right-hand corner. It's a little camera, and it comes up like this. It's got these little sparkly things, and you can actually go ahead and scan the cover of the book. Sometimes you have to angle it right, and the information will come up. So you can actually use Amazon's proprietary software to scan the cover to then have it locate that book. If that doesn't work, which it usually will, and the barcode's not there, or it's not pulling it up, you can open up the first page of the book, or the first, second, third page of the book, and look for the ISBN number, and you could type that in. If that isn't there, you could go to Amazon and you could type in the whatever app you're using, type in the title of the book, and you should be able to pull it up that way. So that's essentially how I do it. Steven says, I keep getting burned by books with new editions under the same ISBN number. Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. You definitely got to be careful. How do you find profit amount when scanning the Amazon seller app? I find rank, but not profit. So what you actually do, and it's going to be hard because I can't share my screen with you on my phone. But if you say, for example, you might be able to see that. Let me see. Get in there. Okay. So when you're on your app, when you click gross proceeds, it'll actually bring up another screen. You're not going to be able to see it because it's too bright. And it'll show net proceeds. So if I sold this for $9.42 and I got it for free, I would make $2 profit. So you just got to hit, when you're in the app, you got to hit gross proceeds, and then it'll show you the profit right there. Okay. Can I sell books that are damaged? What conditions are allowed to sell? Okay. You could sell books that are water damaged. You could sell books that are brand new. Now, if you sell a book that's damaged, or it's missing a CD, or it has some issues, or has a lot of highlighting, you're going to want to underpromise and overdeliver. No, you're going to want to overpromise. Wait, I'm so confused. Underpromise and overdeliver. Okay. So if it's got water damage, if it's bad condition, don't say it's very nice, it's pristine, it's amazing condition. Underpromise and overdeliver to make them happy. So if it's got water damage, any substantial issues, missing CDs, blah, 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 typically I'll go with acceptable. If it has a little bit of highlighting, maybe a ripped page here or there, just a little issue, maybe there's a little dirt in the cover, I'll go good. If it looks amazing, really good, I'll go very good. I rarely do like new, and I pretty much never do new unless it's, sealed with stickers and everything. So try to stay with books that are in good shape. Once you start messing with water damaged books and pages ripped out and things are missing, you're playing with fire because a lot of people aren't going to read the condition. They're not going to read your notes, and you could get in trouble. So you could sell anything. Just make sure to give as much information as you can in the description. If it has water damage and stuff, I'd probably take a picture of it, and give as much data to your potential customer as possible to make them happy, because this is Amazon. This is not eBay. It's not the wild, wild west. All it takes is a couple pissed off customers to hit the wrong button when they create a dispute, and you can be in a world of ish. So keep that in mind. How long do books stay in Amazon? You can keep books in Amazon for as long as you want. Once you start hitting that 6-month mark, you're going to get hit with long-term storage fees. And based on the size and the weight, those fees are going to add up substantially to the point where it's not even going to be worth keeping it there anymore. So keep them in there as long as you want. You're just going to stack up the long-term storage fees. So most books that I buy and sell, Mama Profits buys and sells, they usually sit for less than a month. Right? You might be thinking, wow. But yeah, I mean, we're focusing on quick selling books. We do have some longer tail books that sit for 4 or 5 months, some that never sell, and then we pluck them out when the time comes. Or sometimes we get those notifications from Amazon that, you know, it's free disposal of books to clear out your inventory. And we, of course, take advantage of those opportunities. Hey, what's going on, Denise? Hey, Steven, finally caught you on a live stream. Good to see you. Thanks for watching live. Steven says, I have a $30 book that's nice and clean, but binding is unglued on the spot. Acceptable or don't bother? Yeah, I hate those because it's like one slip away from just disconnecting. So for something like that, I would polybag it when I ship it out. Put a suffocation label on it if you can, just because you don't want that binding to disconnect. If there's enough profit, I'll take a risk. Obviously go acceptable. Obviously do the most I can to explain it in the description and sell it. But if it's only going to make me 10, 15 bucks, I probably won't do it with binding issues. I'm sure there's ways to glue it and fix it. And if we had Reezy Resells on right now, he'd probably be like, Steve, just do this, do this, do that. It'd be good. I don't know. But I'm sure there's ways to fix it. Do you have books destroyed or have sent back? The thing with books, when it gets to the point where it doesn't sell, like for example, say I have a book that's been sitting in there for 5.5 months. It's getting ready to incur a long-term storage fee. At that point, if it's got less than $10 profit and the rank is starting to get over 2 mil, I'll just have it destroyed. Now, if it's a book that for some reason or another, maybe it's like a 1.2 million rank, but there's like $40 or $50 profit, you know, I'll pay the long-term storage fee and I'll keep it in there. It just depends on your business model. Walter says, you ever get looks for scanning? I do. I've even had problems with like some of the veterans making comments like, oh, what you're doing is cheating, you're scanning, blah, blah, blah. You know, you adapt or you die. It is what it is. But in terms of looks, a lot of times people will look at you because they're just curious. They don't know if you're like with the CIA or something, like, what is this guy doing? Oftentimes they think I work there and I'm like pricing books or something. But for the most part, it's all in your head. Most people don't care. They're out there doing their thing. Most people are just normal customers. They're not resellers. And a lot of times they're just curious. I'll say, hey, yeah, I'm scanning books. And sometimes they'll say, hey, you know, is it worth anything? And I'll be like, no. And it's worth like 80 bucks because I don't want to encourage the competition locally. But other times people will be really cool and nice and I'll just teach them. So it just depends. What do you do with your duds, books that you get home and they're not good to send in? Sometimes that'll happen. Prices just erode, or someone comes in with a crap load of inventory, or maybe I just make a mistake. Usually I'll just donate them back. It rarely happens though. Like less than 2% of the time I make a mistake like that. Just because when I'm scanning books, I'm using the data on Amazon, on the Amazon Seller app or Scout IQ to make those decisions. Okay. So how do you price your books? It's really going to depend, right? A lot of people will price comparison pricing. So if you're selling FBA, pretty much what you do is you compare FBA prices and conditions. So for example, if you have a very good condition book, you might price competitively with the next person who's very good. Also, a lot of people price higher or lower based on seasonality. I would highly recommend getting the Chrome extension Keepa. Is it a Chrome extension? Yeah, it is. And it kind of pops up on your screen, and that'll give you data based on sales velocity and price history and when Amazon comes in and out of stock, so you can make better buying decisions. Sometimes it's best to be 8th or 9th in line, 25% higher than the lowest price, because you know the trend from last year is sales velocity increases, and it's all supply and demand. And when that wave of buyers comes through, 1 through 7 is going to get knocked out, and you're going to be sitting there pretty 25% higher. So depends on seasonality, Keepa charts, your specific business model, and the amount of money that you have. Some people want a quick turn, make the money, get in and get out, because there's always a risk if you wait it out. Price can erode, Amazon could come in, there's issues that can come about. So that really just depends, but that's essentially how I price. Look at the condition, I look at the sales rank, I look at the competition, and there's other factors as well, but that's it for the most part. Lewis K says Rally Roots has a very good FBA step-by-step tutorial. Yeah, those guys are amazing. I trust them with all my heart, so go check them out for sure. What justifies listing a book as collectible? I'm a little confused on that. I've been confused on that the whole time as well. Someone else is going to have to answer that question, but it's collectible is like, how do I explain it? Like with board games, sometimes it's just like new and collectible. And I always think of collectible as being like used, like it's like the used version of books for board games. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even know the answer. So somebody, if I don't know an answer, I admit it, guys. I don't pretend to know it all. Someone help me out with that, though. I don't really know the answer. Cater Jones, I've never heard of Keepa. Glad I started watching your live stream. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Get it. Make sure you get Keepa, guys. If you're watching right now, download Keepa. If you just go to like Google Chrome extension and type in Keepa, download it. It'll show up on your little Chrome tab. And then when you go to an Amazon listing, this chart will show up. It's really cool. And it'll you can scan through the chart and it'll show you like sales velocity, price history. It's awesome. Trust me, you want to get that. Looking to see if there's any more questions. For new booksellers, how many items do you recommend selling initially to get enough feedback to be competitive with established booksellers? I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, obviously, when you're brand new, nobody wants to buy from the new guy, but it's just part of the game. You might miss out on a couple sales, a couple fish might bite on your lure and then, get scared because of you being new. But the thing is, a lot of people, especially if you're selling FBA, people trust FBA. A lot of these, you guys know the difference because you're an Amazon seller, but a lot of normal people who don't even know that, most people think that Amazon is just everything for sale on Amazon is by an Amazon representative. They think it's the Amazon company. They don't realize it's people like you and I, most people. So I wouldn't even worry about that. Just go through the process, analyze books, spend the right amount of money on your books, make sure they're in good shape, list them correctly, ship them out, go through the process. It's going to start selling. Feedback, you might get a feedback one out of every 25 or one out of every 100, one out of every 50. You're not going to get a lot of feedback. Don't worry about it. I don't want to waste that much time on it because it's not even that big of a deal. There's nothing you can do. You just have to trust in the process. And slowly over time, when you make more sales, you're going to get more feedback. But it's a good question. Just looking through some of the comments to see what else we got here. Brandon says, thanks for the reply. Yeah, I sometimes set the collectible sale price quite a bit higher. I don't even know what it means really, so I'm still looking for an answer. Does FBA Scan compare to Amazon seller app? So FBA Scan is another great app. I've actually used them in the past. So you're not going to go wrong with FBA Scan or Scout IQ for more data. I personally like Scout IQ just because it's got a couple more pieces of data that help me to analyze. But you're really not going to go wrong with either. Again, those are paid. So if you're new, just start with the Amazon seller app. All I know is my repricer won't work on collectible books. Yeah. I use Reprice It. So I don't know what you guys use. Reprice It's a very beginner-friendly repricer. There are other repricers out there that are more advanced and cost more money. For me, it's like $17 a month or something like that. So it helps me to keep competitive and you could set your own rules and stuff. But if you're brand new, I wouldn't worry about a repricer. But down the road, after you get a couple hundred books, you can look into that. It might be worth the investment. Steve, to keep up with Amazon selling requirements, should I readjust prices to liquidate inventory? So yeah, they've got that new little rating. I wouldn't worry about that too much. I would just, I would just think about your business model and what you're trying to do and focus on that. I would try to keep it under that 6-month period average selling range, because just to avoid that long-term storage fee, I like to stick with books that sell quick. That's just me personally. But I'm not sure exactly what do you mean by the Amazon selling requirements. Maybe you want to touch on that a little bit more, but I would just focus on you and do your thing. I'm not sure what requirements you're talking about. How does Keepa make money? Probably off of, they probably have brand deals with other companies or advertising. How long does it take, or how long should you wait until you drop the price? It's just going to depend. It's going to depend on your business model. Seasonality, for example, right now, maybe you're trying to get 150 for a textbook, but you notice that maybe for your specific book, kids' classes have already started, which means there's going to be more demand for it, which means prices are probably going to drop. Repricers are going to start battling it out. So you might want to start lowering the price. But if it was the beginning of textbook season around August 8th, and you were trying to get your price and you weren't getting it, and maybe someone came underneath you, I wouldn't necessarily drop it. So it depends on your business model, depends on how bad you need the cash, depends on the Keepa charts, and the competition. If a lot of competition is coming in and maybe somebody has like 800 books, there's actually, if you go in and you pretend to buy their book and you type in 999 for the quantity, you can see how many books they have. There's also there's an extension. I'm going to be buying it for my mother and I, that it pops up automatically how many units they have in their inventory. So that's something cool. I'll share that with you guys when I finally get it. But yeah, those are some of the things that I would take into consideration when adjusting prices. Lori says, to get your book sent back to you to avoid charges 6 months, I assume you pay postage to return. There's a set fee. What is it? Is it 15 or 30 cents to get it? I haven't got an item shipped back in so long, I don't even remember. But it's not a lot of money. You don't have to pay for shipping. You just have to pay for the cost per unit, which is like 15 or 50 cents. It's in between there. It's one of those. Thanks for suggestions. I'm looking for textbooks. I bought 22 textbooks for 20 bucks. Already sold 2 for over 200. I mean, it's crazy, guys. If you are a reseller, I don't care if you're on Litco or Craigslist flipping bikes, or you're doing antiques from estate sales, you got to get acquainted with books, because there's just so many opportunities. Not only scanning a million books and going hard full time, but just picking and slicing and dicing and sniping, going to your thrift store. I mean, how many people already? I've already seen like 3 or 4 comments from people saying I sold a book for 80, 100, 2 books for 200. We just found a $150 book at a garage sale, guys. There's money to be made out there, right? So definitely check it out. Guys, there's a lot of resources out there. On my YouTube channel, I've got tons of free videos. If you're looking for a step-by-step course to get started selling books, take a look in my description. It's the first link. It says my favorite course for selling books on Amazon FBA. It's a course created by my good friend, Jim Pickins. Guys, it's step-by-step detailed. I mean, everything from A to Z. I mean, there's 50 or 60 videos, a community. It's really good. There's probably like upwards to 1,000 students in that course now, I'm assuming. It's a really good course, guys. It's 97 bucks. It's dirt cheap. I'd start with the free YouTube videos, but if it gets to the point where you're like, I'm just sick of wasting time, just grab the course, guys. It's really good. The same guy, Jim Pickins, my good friend, his warehouse is actually like 10 minutes away from me. I've been there. Guy's legit. He's super cool, smart. He has another course called Textbook Arbitrage. So if you're interested in learning about how to source books online using eFLIP, or there's other softwares out there as well, like Zen Arbitrage. I mentioned it and touched on it a little bit before, but there's softwares out there that'll allow you to analyze data on Amazon to essentially buy underpriced books on Amazon through merchants to flip as an FBA seller. If you want to learn that whole process, he actually has a course on that as well. Links in the description. There's also free 21-day eFLIP trial in the description, free 14-day Scout IQ in the description. Go onto the Amazon, go onto your app store and download the Amazon Seller app. It's 100% free, guys. If you have a smartphone, download the Amazon Seller app. It's free. Sign up for an Amazon Seller account, get the free account to start, and start visiting thrift stores, garage sales. You can go to booksalefinder.com and you can start looking for library sales. You can look on Craigslist, the free section, talk to your friends, take a look around your house. Maybe you're a graduate and you have some textbooks laying around. Start scanning those books, start sending them in, learn how to ship to the FBA warehouses, start making some money, guys. All right. I'm just trying to help you guys out. There's too many people out there who are complaining about not having enough money or the business isn't growing, so on and so forth. I've been there. And I can tell you right now, guys, books is a great opportunity. So hopefully this video was able to help you guys out. I tried my best to answer all the questions for you. Again, this isn't a step-by-step tutorial going into all the specifics, but I don't think that's as important as being motivated and inspired and knowing that you can do it and kind of understanding the overall, 10,000-foot overview of how this works. Because once you believe in yourself and you know it's possible and you see people in the comments, saying, hey, look, I'm making money, I'm making it work. Once you believe in yourself, you can figure out the little details, guys. There's courses like I dropped in the description. You can check that out. You can go through those. There's free videos. Check out Rally Roots. There's tons of free videos on my channel, guys. Go out there, make it happen. There's no excuse, guys. Go out there and crush it, okay? So if you guys have any more questions, drop comments for me after the show in the description. I'll do my best to go in and respond to them immediately. If I don't, I'll probably make another video like I'm doing right now, answering all your guys' questions. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Unfortunately, it's about 3 p.m. right now Eastern. I've got to get running. I've got something going on. So I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for watching this video. I truly hope that this was able to add value to you and teach you some new things. And hopefully you go out there and apply this information and make some money. And yeah, go out there and make it happen. I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you all. Hey, smash that like button, guys, if you haven't had a chance to yet. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.